Level 989.
Welcome to a 989 on Health Extra. These quick supplements should help ease any withdrawal symptoms you may experience while waiting for our next full episode. So, Mike, what's on today's agenda?
If you're a woman, pregnancy can have huge impacts on your life, but it also changes your body in many ways. Some simple, others so complex we're still making new discoveries, even in this age when doctors already seem to know it all. One of these new revelations is the possibility that the blood of a woman who was once pregnant might be more likely to kill a man if he were to get a transfusion of her blood. So imagine this scenario. A woman, let's call her Rose, was pregnant 5 years ago. She gave birth, everything's fine. Rose is perfectly healthy. Here it is, 5 years later, and Rose donates blood. She's generous like that. A man, Jack, needs a transfusion after that. Maybe a car accident. Jack is 1.5 times more likely to die if he receives Rose's blood rather than Rose's sister, Donna's blood, simply because Donna has never been pregnant. My little scenario is drawn from data coming from the Journal of the American Medical Association, reviewing a study of over 30,000 patients. There will, of course, be a link in the show notes. Now, this is just me guessing here, but I wonder, even women who were briefly pregnant and had a miscarriage or abortion may have changes to their bodies that result in issues with their blood that could have these same effects if transferred to males. While we're talking about pregnant females and their blood, this seems like the perfect opportunity to talk about something called Rh incompatibility. According to the topic breakdown from the National Institutes of Health, here's a quick overview. Now, Rh is a protein that's found on red blood cells, and there are different types, negative and positive. When you're pregnant, blood from your baby can cross into your bloodstream. If you're Rh negative and your baby is Rh positive, your body will react to the baby's blood as a foreign substance. Your body will create antibodies against the baby's Rh positive blood. These antibodies usually don't cause problems during a first pregnancy. However, the antibodies stay in your body once they've formed. Thus, Rh incompatibility is more likely to cause problems in a second or later pregnancy. During a later pregnancy, the Rh antibodies can cross the placenta and attack the baby's red blood cells. This can lead to a condition called hemolytic anemia in the baby. Hemolytic anemia is a condition in which red blood cells are destroyed faster than the body can replace them, and without enough red blood cells, your baby won't get enough oxygen. This can lead to serious problems. Severe hemolytic anemia may even be fatal to the child. The important element here is that it turns out that these Rh antibodies can be passed on during a transfusion. Even something called pre-eclampsia, a problem some pregnant women experience with sudden high blood pressure and other life-threatening issues, has no definitive cause, but may also be related to antibodies in the bloodstream which could be passed on during a transfusion. Lots of further research is needed. As with any part of the body, blood is a highly complex type of tissue, and it would be interesting to see what the impacts of once pregnant blood would have on a never pregnant woman as well. We tend to think of the brain as the only part of the body with a memory, but the antibodies in the immune system are an often forgotten example of how the body keeps track of the past. It would be very difficult to always have fresh blood from your own body ready to transfuse after some random accident. But I think the study I just mentioned is another reason to always donate blood for your own use if you're going in for a planned procedure. When I was a teenager in the 1980s, there was a lot of talk in the news of unfortunate folks who went in for a normal surgical procedure and who were given blood contaminated with HIV, especially in the early days of HIV and all the proper testing wasn't in place yet. We've largely solved the getting random infection problem by now, but there are still problems. According to the Centers for Disease Control, there are over 14 million transfusions a year in the U.S. alone, and, quote, although the U.S. blood supply is safer than ever before, some bacteria, viruses, prions, and parasites can be transmitted by blood transfusions, end quote. You may wonder what a prion is. Well, it's really complicated, but kept simple, it's a self-replicating protein. It's very basic and very hard to destroy. Really, all you need to know about prions are, it's what causes mad cow disease. You do not want it. So, how many deaths occur due to transfusions every year? This number was difficult for me to track down. The most recent years for which I could find fatality data related to transfusions were 2008 through 2011, with the average of about 60 terminal cases per year. I need to make it clear, that is 60, as in 10 more than 50. 60. That's far less than even 100 cases per year. Considering the almost 40,000 transfusions that take place in the US every day, that's pretty amazing. Now, it's not clear from my research if, let's say, in the unlikely event that I get hepatitis C from a transfusion, and then I get severe liver damage from the hep C and end up tragically passing away from liver damage, does the FDA count that as a transfusion-related fatality? I wasn't able to figure that out. There are some groups that are opposed to transfusions, such as Jehovah's Witnesses, as one well-known example, but the data on the safety and efficacy of blood transfusions is incontrovertible. If some terrible calamity has occurred and you need a few pints of blood, a transfusion is very likely to save your life, and extremely unlikely to end it. Statistically, you're far more likely to get struck by lightning than suffer ill effects from a transfusion.
That's all for now. You can find links to read more about today's topics at level989.com. Why not take a moment to rate or review us in iTunes, or give us a mention on social media? We can't help everyone if they don't know we exist. Don't rely on us as an alternative to medical advice from a professional healthcare provider. For the full disclaimer, please see our website. Thanks for listening, and now, go health yourself.